What's up, everybody? So I am in Durban, South Africa right now, and this is Ultimate Exotics. This could be the worst reptile shop in South Africa. Could actually be the worst reptile shop in all of Africa. But it's also the best reptile shop in Africa. The very best reptile shop in Africa. But it's both the best and the worst because it is the only specialty reptile shop in South Africa. Could be the only specialty reptile shop in the entire continent of Africa. And in this reptile adventure, I'm giving you guys an exclusive tour of Ultimate Exotics right here in Durban, South Africa. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures. This is Rolf. This is your place. This is incredible. Just start us at the beginning. How did all this begin for you?
Okay, guys. Well, welcome to our reptile store. This is Ultimate Exotics Reptile Specialist Store. So we've been breeding reptiles for more than 30 years now. And a few years ago, we decided that we would open up a reptile specialist store in South Africa. It's the first one of its kind, and we really wanted to kind of set an example to people on how reptiles should be kept and like the standard that they should be kept, and just get more people interested in keeping reptiles here.
Fantastic. How long has the store been open?
Just going on 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And you've been breeding reptiles for
a very long time, more than 30 years now. Yeah.
More than 30 years?
Yeah, since I was very young. It started by just keeping reptiles that I'd find in my garden. And then eventually it started with my first corn snakes, and then it kind of just snowballed from there.
Wow, yeah. Fantastic. All right, so one of the coolest things that you have in this shop, you have a Clint. You have a live-in Clint.
With a Blackthroat monitor.
Wait. We'll get back to you in a second, Rolf. What do you got over here?
Got a Blackthroat monitor. Everything's coming together.
Wow.
They've got a very distinctive African monitor head shape. I love it. You know, even the Nile monitors, which in a lot of ways look a lot like Asian water monitors, they've still got that African monitor head where the nose kind of comes out and then it slants down. And I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
These guys, this group with the Savannahs and the White Throats and the Black Throats, you know, they've got a very different shape, much wider head. They're very different looking from really any other monitors. And I can't tell you which ones I like better, you know, if I like the traditional monitor shape or this, but this is a very like Allosaurus dinosaur sort of a
it sure is
shape. And how are you going to beat that? They've got a very special place in my heart, and these guys do get impressively large.
Yeah, they get very big.
Oh, you're so great.
Very big. What were we doing here? Oh yeah, we were doing a reptile shop tour. All right, so we're going to start at one end and we're going to finish at the other end. So this display here is the first thing you see when you come into this shop.
Yeah.
And this looks a little bit familiar.
Yeah, so thanks to you, Dave. Your videos have helped us create or get some really good ideas on inspiring us to on how we're going to set the shop up. And this came from one of your videos, one of your reptile store videos. And we kind of went through quite a few of them, and we got different ideas, and then we put this together, which is what you see now. And
so you saw, really great. So you saw the one from Reptiles in France.
Yes.
That was one of the features of their shop that
Yes.
kind of was really innovative and really impressive. I am so glad to see that video helped because this is one of the
beautiful display.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great display. So what do we have in here?
So we have a variety of different king snakes. We have corn snakes. We have some house snakes. Some different rat snake species. Just all your really nice, attractive-looking colubrid species. That are a great, starter snake to keep as pets.
So let's take a look at a house snake.
Sure. So this is T-minus albino house snake. You can see how beautiful that is.
Yeah. So how popular are house snakes here in South Africa?
They are very popular. They just make such a great starter snake as a starter pet snake. They're very good feeders. They're easy to handle. They don't get too large. So they're all around very popular. And I mean, they come in such a nice variety of different colors at the moment.
And one of the things that I love about house snakes is they're kind of that almost, you could almost say that they're the missing link between colubrids and pythons.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's what I
definitely.
find so interesting about them.
They have a lot of similarities of a small python.
You also have a lot of corn snakes here, and
Yeah.
corn snakes have always been popular in the United States. How popular are they here in South Africa?
They are very popular because it's one of the snakes that we can keep in almost all the provinces of South Africa. So they've been for many years now. You'll go to start a pet snake. That is obviously before ball pythons really grew in popularity.
Sure.
But as far as like a small colubrid species, the corn snake definitely is number one as the first time pet snake.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of corn snakes. But you have a scaleless here.
Yeah, so this is still this mutation is still very new in South Africa. We were one of the first people to import them, and they really are beautiful. Look, not everyone likes them, but I think they're absolutely beautiful. The scaleless corns, you can see the pigment really gets enhanced, and they have such a great feel to them.
They've still got belly scoots, which
So
can be a problem with a lot of the scaleless snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
They
So
don't
their
seem to have
movement's
any problem
perfect.
shedding or anything
Not
like
at
that. They
all.
seem to do just
Yeah.
as well as a scaled snake.
All right, so moving on down, what else do we have to take a look at?
Okay, so we have these really cool. These are the Kenyan sandboas.
Ooh, yeah.
We have them in a variety of different colors: the anathoristic, the snow, and then the albino. This is just the normal variety, but I mean, even just the normals, like with a lot of species, they're just so beautiful.
Yeah, they
I think
are.
these are definitely like an underrated snake. Yeah, I love the colors just of the wild type variety.
You know, sometimes the morphs blow you away,
Yeah,
but the wild types, nature does it best, I gotta say.
absolutely.
Okay, so moving on down the line, we've got a bunch of ball pythons.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about ball python popularity in South Africa. I mean, it is the world's most popular pet snake.
Yeah.
How are they popular in South Africa here?
They're very popular. Also, I think since they've progressed with the large variety of different morphs, they've definitely become probably the most popular snake in South Africa right now. There's a lot of people that are into the hobby because of them, which is great.
Right.
They really actually did a great thing for our hobby and got a lot of people that might have not have kept snakes in the past keeping snakes.
Right.
And then it's been quite cool because you see they come into the hobby because of these ball pythons and the beautiful colors, which are just irresistible. And then they've now also slowly progressed to other species after that, which has been great to see as well.
I always call ball pythons the gateway snake.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it has been that case here as well. Which
Fantastic.
Is great to see.
Now, all of these snakes and reptiles, pretty much, I would say, would conservatively 90%,
Yeah.
you bred at your facility.
Yeah, correct. So pretty much all the reptiles that we sell in our store or wholesale or sell at the expos are all bred by us at our facility. That's what we like to do because we know where the animals come from. We know we've cared for it, we're feeding it, and we know that it's a healthy reptile that's ready to go to a new owner.
Love it. Okay, and then over here, we've got leopard geckos.
Yeah, we have some leopard geckos. Again, the leopard gecko, a really good starter gecko for someone that's keen to get into reptiles and keen for a pet gecko.
Look at that, dude.
There's a real beautiful one there.
And how popular are leopard geckos in South Africa?
They're very popular. They're probably the number one when it comes to a pet gecko. Again, they come in a beautiful variety of colors. They're easy to care for.
Yeah, these and ball pythons, crested geckos. I mean, these are the most popular reptiles all over the world.
Correct.
All right, so being that we're in Africa, how popular are African fat tails?
Yeah, they're also popular. And again, with regards to the color variations, we managed to import some a few years back, and we're just starting to introduce them into South Africa. Whereas before we only had really the normals and the tangerine albinos, but now we're getting the whiteouts and the Oreos and the patternless. So that has definitely increased their popularity. As soon as you increase the variety of different options available, people kind of get excited and then want to get involved. And I really love the fat tails. I find they're very calm and easy to work with, and they're just a beautiful species.
What do you like better, fat tails or leopard geckos?
I've got a soft spot for the African fat tail.
So do I, actually, yeah. What you got there, Clint?
Zilla has everything you need for your reptile pets, from caging to lighting and everything in between. To see their entire catalog and find out where you can get Zilla products near you, visit zillarules.com.
I've got one of the wildest looking Dumerals boas I've ever seen. I've never seen such an aberrant pattern on one. It's got like these swirls all over its back and the kind of like almost egg-shaped pattern on the side is more stripe-like. It's also good, just got some really beautiful pinks. I've just never, I'm really not used to seeing any sort of morphs or unusual looking Dumerals boas other than just different amounts of pink. And this one is wild.
Now, would you say that's wild?
I would go as far as to say this.
I'd say it's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
It is. I'm wild about it.
Yeah, I'm wild about it too. I love Dumerals. So I really love this kind of display in a reptile shop. I'm really glad that my video and Stefan over at Reptiles in France could help you out with this. Now, underneath here, we've got a bunch of enclosures that we're going to take a look at in a minute, but over here, we've got this entire wall full of enclosures. I love how you made this so aesthetic. And did you build this, or did you?
No, we built it all ourselves. This again was, we really wanted some attractive displays. What it does, it gives people an idea of how they can keep their reptiles at home. Especially with the live vivariums, we try and promote it as much as possible, depending on the species that you are looking at getting. But just attractive displays where it benefits the reptile, and it looks great at home. To have something like this,
it sure does.
That just looks attractive, and the most importantly, it's actually what the reptiles need as well, and they do so well in it.
Fantastic. Well, let's start at this bottom corner. We have a radiated.
So these are beautiful tortoises. These were captive bred by a friend of ours who lives close by.
Now, radiateds are native to Madagascar, but leopard geckos are native to right here in South Africa. Do a lot of people keep leopard tortoises here?
Leopard tortoises, you have to have a permit to keep them.
So
a lot of people don't keep leopard tortoises.
Right. So on that note, there are a lot of reptile laws here in South Africa, and some provinces allow you to do this, other ones not that.
That is correct.
Kind of explain how that whole thing works in about 3 or 4 words.
Yeah, so basically where we stay in KZN, for all exotic reptiles, unless they are an alien invasive species, we are allowed to keep them without permits. Same goes for Gauteng. I'd say the difference between the provinces is that in Gauteng you have all indigenous species that are being kept have to have a permit, whereas in KZN we don't need a permit for indigenous species. But yeah, so anything that's obviously a protected species, you have to have a permit, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then being in the Western Cape, they have to have permits for everything that they keep.
Everything,
correct.
Native or non-native.
Native or not native, they have to have permits for everything they keep. And yeah, even with the exotic things, and also they're not allowed to keep all exotics. They have a list of approved exotic species.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's quite complicated.
Yeah.
It took us a long while to figure it out, but yeah, we help a lot of our customers with that, because a lot of people phone us from other provinces and say, "Oh, we're allowed to keep this, or aren't we allowed to keep this?" And yeah, we can advise them correctly on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So up here we have an Amazon tree boa. How is that guy's temperament? Can we take him out?
Yeah, we can.
I think this is also an underrated boa, and I just love ATBs. They come in so many different colors and so many different variants.
Yeah, these are such impressive snakes. A really nice arboreal snake, if someone is looking for something that is arboreal. They're still quite rare in South Africa, but they also have been in the hobby for quite a long time. But there's just not too many around. But the great thing about them is they come in such an incredible variety of different colors. They're all like naturally occurring colors, from reds to bright yellows to grays. I mean, it's just incredible. And also, I think they're a really good snake if you're looking at something that's an arboreal enclosure. They're really good feeders, and they just love to climb. So an enclosure that's got a lot of height to it, lots of climbing space, it looks attractive, and they thrive in it.
All right, so Clint, what do you got now?
This is a Whitbit's bearded dragon, which this is something I just learned. So I've seen these before. This is one of the 2 patternless mutations I know of, the other being the 0.
Right.
Both of them are really pretty. This one's got more pattern, like more color that remains in it. The 0 is kind of a white bearded dragon. But the thing that I didn't know until just today was that this mutation was actually discovered here in South Africa.
That I didn't know, actually.
And the very name for the mutation actually comes from like a South African equivalent to moonshine.
Really?
So
I guess I never knew that either.
anyway, kind of crazy. I had no idea that was the history, and they've been working really hard to outcross these guys because originally they had a lot of inbreeding problems, and so the line was kind of weak. But they've been outcrossing them and doing great.
Wow. This is kind of unique to see in a reptile shop because we don't see a lot of this, if any, in reptile shops in North America. You've got 4 enclosures here of Venomous.
If you haven't heard of Palm Street yet, you've got to check this out. It's a new online marketplace where you can see your new reptile through either live streams or direct from the breeder listings. The best part is all sellers are vetted to ensure your new reptile is healthy, and there are even exclusive perks for new members and so much more. Palm Street makes shopping for your new reptile fun. Check them out for yourself by hitting the link in the description below.
Yeah, so we do quite a few venomous species. We actually have quite a few other ones that aren't in the store, but what we did is we just thought we'd put a few of the more common venomous species that are kept in South Africa. Here we have the purple mangrove viper. These are very easy to care for, but also they've got a real nasty temperament.
Yeah,
So you're not one to mess around with.
And a very spicy bite.
Absolutely. And then we have the eyelash vipers, which are they're really nice. Again, if you're looking for an arboreal display viper, they are excellent. They do really well in the live vivariums. They were naturally planted vivarium in an arboreal setup, and they just look absolutely beautiful, and they come in a great variety of different colors. The only challenge with them is when they are recently born, they are very small, and it can be quite a trick to get them eating and onto pinkies.
Gotcha. And now if a customer comes in and wants to buy one of these,
Yes.
do you vet them? Do you...
Yes, we do. So definitely not under the age of 18, and then they have to have some kind of experience, preferably a venomous snake handling course, and some type of experience with venomous snakes.
Gotcha. So moving on down the wall here, we've got a whole bank of crested geckos, one of the other most popular pet lizards in the world. How is their popularity here in South Africa?
Yeah, they're also very popular. And again, we're introducing some new color variants. We've only recently got in the lily white and started breeding them and selling them here in South Africa. And they're just extremely beautiful. But there's a lot of interest in them. I think a big help is the fact that they eat the meal replacement powders. So it makes it easy for a lot of people that are keeping them and they might be struggling to get feeder foods. They can buy basically a complete diet, mix it with water, and they eat that and do really well on that.
Yeah.
We recently imported the lily whites and have just started breeding with them. That was probably about 2 years ago now. So they're still very new to the market here.
And what's a lily white sell for in South Africa?
Right now they're about 9,000 Rand.
9,000 Rand.
So they're expensive considering this would be probably about 1,500 Rand gecko. So they've still got a high value.
So now that we've had a little tour of this incredible reptile shop, there is one species that they have here that I'm really excited about, and that is down here. And that is the yellow anaconda. And down here, they actually have 2 of them. And so they've told me that these are a little bit snappy. There's 2 of them under here. I'm just going to very gently lift this up and look at that. There they are right there. Now I'm not going to use the hook to wrangle them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hook to just tap him right on the head. Not very hard, just to let him know that this is not feeding time, this is play time, and I don't want him to have a food response. So now that I've done that, I feel more comfortable to just gently reach in and pull him out. And look at this beauty. Now, when it comes to anacondas, I like the yellows more than I like the greens. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. So comment below. Let me know when it comes to anacondas. Do you like the green ones better or do you like the yellow ones better? I like the yellow ones better because they're just a little bit more aesthetic to me. And they're a little bit more manageable. They don't get as big as the greens. So when you come to a reptile shop like this in South Africa, the last thing you kind of expect to see is a beautiful yellow anaconda like this. So when I saw this, I kind of geeked out about this. But yes, these do have a reputation of kind of being snappy, and I think a lot of that is it's not us communicating to the snake what our intentions are. We open up that enclosure and they're going to think that it's feeding time and they're going to be very snappy. But by just taking a hook and just touching his head, usually that communicates that no, it's not food time, and they calm right down and they become very, very handleable and very really incredible, personable snake. So anyway, guys, I just want to thank Rolf for the tour of his incredible reptile shop here. This is by far the best reptile shop in all of Africa. It's really awesome to come to South Africa and see reptile keeping just blossom in this country. So anyway, guys, I just want to take a real quick minute to thank all of my Patreon supporters. It's with your help that I can come to places like this and educate all of you on these amazing animals. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, that link is in the description below. And guys, as always, thanks for watching. And until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.